International trade rarely makes headlines, and for most people, the complex world of tariffs and trade agreements is something that happens quietly in the background, far from the daily news cycle. But every so often, a single event can thrust these hidden forces into the global spotlight. On August 25th, 2025, Ottawa became the epicenter of a global economic shockwave. The city, usually known for its calm political rhythms, was suddenly buzzing with an energy not seen in decades. News vans lined the streets and crowds gathered, sensing that something historic was about to unfold. That morning, Canada announced plans to eliminate nearly all import and export tariffs, a move so bold and unexpected it stunned the world's financial and political leaders. The announcement was delivered with a sense of gravity, signaling a dramatic shift in the nation's economic philosophy. Financial markets buzzed with speculation. Traders watched their screens in disbelief, while newsrooms scrambled to confirm the story and analyze its potential impact. The ripple effects were immediate, with economists and investors debating what this could mean for global commerce. Could a G7 nation really embrace completely free trade? The question echoed in boardrooms and government offices around the world. Analysts debated whether this was a visionary leap forward or a risky gamble in an uncertain global climate. Social media exploded with #Canada leads and #0 tariffs. People everywhere, from students in cafes to business leaders in skyscrapers, debated what this could mean for prices, jobs, and the global economy. The conversation was electric, with opinions as diverse as the country itself. In an era of rising protectionism and trade wars, Canada's rumored announcement felt like a powerful counter-narrative. Headlines around the world questioned whether this bold experiment could reshape the rules of international trade. The world watched Parliament Hill, waiting for confirmation. Reporters from every continent set up live broadcasts, eager to capture the moment history might be made. The iconic Peace Tower stood over a crowd buzzing with anticipation, its shadow falling on journalists, citizens, and curious onlookers alike. The air was thick with excitement and uncertainty. For a country known for quiet diplomacy and measured steps, this was a bold leap into the spotlight. Canada was signaling to the world that it was ready to lead, not just follow. Canada was about to show a new ambitious face to the world, one that embraced openness, innovation, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. The nation's identity was on the verge of transformation. The dawn of a new era was moments away, as the first rays of sunlight touched Parliament Hill and the world held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Inside the House of Commons, every seat was filled. The air was thick with anticipation as members of Parliament, government officials, and guests from across the nation gathered for what was rumored to be a landmark announcement. The energy in the chamber was palpable, with whispers and quiet conversations giving way to a sense of collective focus. As Prime Minister Mark Carney approached the lectern, all eyes turned towards him. The chamber fell silent, the weight of the moment settling over everyone present. Even the most seasoned politicians seemed to sense that history was about to be made. Carney began with a steady voice announcing, "Today, our government tables a plan to create the Canadian Free Trade Zone. We will begin eliminating tariffs on nearly all goods entering and leaving our country." His words echoed through the chamber, signaling a bold new direction for the nation's economic future. He called it a choice for growth, for workers, and for a more prosperous world. Carney emphasized that this was not just about economics, but about building a stronger, more connected Canada, one that could lead on the world stage. This was not a gamble, but a calculated strategy to unleash Canadian potential. The Prime Minister spoke of careful planning, consultations with experts, and a vision rooted in confidence in the Canadian people. Experts immediately called it the most significant trade liberalization move of the century. Economists and analysts, both at home and abroad, began to debate the far-reaching implications of this decision, recognizing its potential to reshape not only Canada's economy but also global trade patterns. Canada was setting a new global example, challenging the tide of protectionism that had swept across many nations in recent years. The world's attention was fixed on Ottawa, as leaders and citizens everywhere wondered if others would follow Canada's lead. Carney expressed confidence in Canadian businesses and workers to compete globally. He spoke of the ingenuity, resilience, and determination that had always defined the nation, and how this new era would open doors for entrepreneurs, manufacturers, and innovators from coast to coast. He envisioned Canadian innovation reaching every corner of the globe and families benefiting from lower prices. The Prime Minister painted a picture of a future where Canadian products were celebrated worldwide and everyday citizens saw real, tangible benefits in their lives. This was leadership through ideas, not force. Carney reminded Parliament that true progress comes from bold thinking and collaboration, not from building walls or closing doors. The applause was thunderous, echoing far beyond Parliament. Members from all parties rose to their feet, united in recognition of the significance of the moment. The sound carried through the halls, out onto Parliament Hill, and into the hearts of Canadians watching from home. Canada had just redefined its place in the world. The nation stood taller, prouder, and more determined than ever to shape its own destiny and contribute to a more open, prosperous global community. The world was watching and taking notes. News outlets from every continent reported on the bold move, and international leaders began to discuss what it might mean for their own countries. A new chapter in global trade had begun. Canada's decision would ripple across borders, inspiring debate, innovation, and perhaps a new era of cooperation among nations. The future, it seemed, had arrived on Parliament Hill. Why is this so revolutionary? The changes we're seeing in trade policy aren't just technical details, they have the power to reshape the way we live, work, and do business every single day. Tariffs are essentially taxes placed on goods that come from other countries. When these taxes are added, the cost of imported products goes up, and that extra cost is usually passed on to you, the consumer, making everyday items more expensive. But when tariffs are removed, prices can drop, sometimes almost overnight. Suddenly, shoppers find better deals on everything from electronics to clothing, and families can stretch their budgets further. For businesses that depend on imported materials or components, lower tariffs mean lower costs. This allows them to produce goods more efficiently and offer more competitive prices, both at home and abroad. And it's not just about what we bring in. Our exports, everything Canada sells to the world, stand to gain as well. When Canada lowers its tariffs, it often encourages other countries to do the same. This opens up new markets for Canadian products, from agricultural goods to advanced technology, making it easier for our businesses to compete globally. Trade wars and retaliatory tariffs become less likely, creating a more stable environment for Canadian farmers, manufacturers, and tech companies to sell their products abroad and grow their businesses. For everyday Canadians, this means lower prices on a wide range of goods, from the groceries you buy each week, to the car you drive, to your morning cup of coffee. It's a change you can feel in your wallet. As businesses expand and become more competitive, they hire more workers, invest in innovation, and boost productivity. This leads to more job opportunities and a stronger, more resilient economy for everyone. Canada is embracing its identity as a trading nation, leveraging its strengths to build prosperity and opportunity from coast to coast. Ultimately, this is about building a future based on open, fair, and free exchange, where everyone has a chance to succeed and new ideas and products can flow freely. The impact of these changes is both immediate and far-reaching, touching every corner of the country and every sector of the economy. Every Canadian, regardless of where they live or what they do, stands to benefit from a more open and dynamic trading environment. The world is watching closely to see how Canada leads the way and what the future of global trade might look like as a result. This policy touches every Canadian. For workers, it means more jobs as companies expand to meet global demand. For families, it means lower prices on everyday goods, stretching household budgets further. Businesses large and small see costs drop and new markets open. A car manufacturer in Ontario or a jewelry designer in Vancouver can now compete globally, sourcing materials affordably and selling without barriers. Canada's openness encourages other countries to reciprocate, strengthening international relationships. Free trade builds goodwill and shared prosperity. It's a win-win. Canadians benefit, and so do global partners. The ripple effects reach every corner of society. This is a new era of opportunity for all. In Windsor, Ontario, an auto factory's costs drop overnight as tariffs vanish. The savings fund new technology, making Canadian cars more competitive worldwide. Orders rise, jobs are created, and the local economy thrives. In Saskatchewan, a family farm gains access to new markets as trading partners lower their barriers. The farm sells more wheat at better prices, invests in new equipment, and diversifies crops. Rural communities prosper as local businesses see increased demand. The zero tariff policy isn't abstract, it's fueling real growth. From factory floors to family farms, the benefits are tangible. Canadian goods reach new markets and communities flourish. This is economic transformation in action. The policy's impact is visible in everyday life. Canada's bold move is already changing lives. The world is taking notice. Globally, average tariffs hover around 9%. Even the US has targeted tariffs that raise prices and spark trade disputes. Canada's move to near-zero tariffs smashes the old paradigm. It leapfrogs every major economy, setting a new global benchmark for openness. This isn't a tweak, it's a fundamental reimagining of global trade. Canada is now the most attractive destination for international investment. Companies see a stable, tariff-free hub for global business. The contrast with other nations is stark. Canada's message, openness, beats protectionism. The world is under pressure to follow suit. Canada's bold move was built on months of quiet negotiation with the US. The goal: lead through partnership, not isolation. Canadian diplomats made the case for how zero tariffs would benefit both economies. The US agreed to streamline border crossings and simplify customs, creating a seamless North American marketplace. This teamwork ensures goods flow freely, maximizing the benefits of Canada's policy. The process was about mutual gain, not competition. Canada proved bold national agendas can strengthen alliances. The outcome is a model for modern international cooperation. North America is now more connected than ever. Canada's new trade strategy is built on fairness, innovation, and transparency. A worker and community transition fund supports anyone negatively affected, ensuring no one is left behind. Zero tariffs make Canada the best place for innovation, lowering costs for research and tech. Transparency is key. All agreements and impacts are published for public scrutiny. The policy is about putting people first, creating jobs, lowering costs, and building a dynamic society. Canada proves ambitious economic goals can align with social responsibility. This is compassionate capitalism in action. Trade is now a tool for improving lives. Canada's bold move is already delivering jobs, lower prices, and a stronger economy. But the impact goes beyond borders. In a world of rising protectionism, Canada stands as a beacon of openness and collaboration. The nation is now a global leader in fair trade, inspiring others to follow. Canada's model could spark a new movement toward freer, fairer trade worldwide. This is a story of confidence, optimism, and leadership. Canada is building a more prosperous, collaborative, and hopeful future. On August 25, 2025, Canada reminded the world what's possible